My girlfriend said during therapy. I'm not here for love. I'm here for something else. I want the house. I just smiled and said, very interesting. Then I canceled the session, sent her recorded confession to my lawyer, and what happened next was beyond anything she could have imagined. Her perfect little world shattered in seconds. I'm 25, and until 3 months ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I'd been with my girlfriend Emma for 4 years. We met in college, moved in together after graduation, and last year I bought a house. Well, I bought it. My name on the deed, my down payment from an inheritance my grandfather left me, my mortgage payments every month. Emma contributed to groceries and utilities, but the house was mine. She knew that. We'd talked about it openly. Or so I thought. About 6 months ago, Emma started suggesting couples therapy. She said we needed to work on communication and build a stronger foundation before taking the next step. I figured she meant marriage, and honestly, I'd been thinking about it too. Things weren't perfect, but I loved her. So I agreed. Our therapist, Dr. Caroline, seemed great at first. Professional, neutral, asked good questions. The first few sessions were standard stuff, talking about our childhoods, our communication styles, how we handled conflict. Emma was always very articulate in these sessions, very prepared with examples and concerns. I noticed she'd started dressing up for therapy, doing her makeup differently, but I didn't think much of it. The fourth session was on a Tuesday afternoon. I remember because I'd taken off work early, and I was in a good mood. I'd just gotten a promotion with a decent raise, and I was planning to surprise Emma with a nice dinner afterward. We settled into Dr. Caroline's office, and she started with her usual opener. So, what would you both like to focus on today? Emma leaned forward. I think we need to discuss long-term plans. Specifically, assets and security. I nodded. Sure, that makes sense. I've been thinking we should talk about. I want clarity on the house, Emma interrupted. On my stake in it. I blinked. Your stake? We've talked about this. The house is in my name. You said you were fine with. That was before I invested 4 years into this relationship, she said, and her tone was different. Harder. Before I gave up opportunities, before I put my career on hold to support you. Put your career on hold. You work full-time. You've never mentioned feeling held back. Dr. Caroline intervened gently. Let's try to stay focused on feelings rather than facts. Emma, can you express what you're experiencing? Emma took a breath, and when she spoke again, her voice was calm, almost rehearsed. I feel insecure. I feel like I've built a life in that house, made it a home, and I have no legal protection. If something happened between us, I'd have nothing. That's not fair. But you knew the arrangement from the beginning, I said, trying to keep my voice level. This isn't news. Arrangements change. Relationships evolve. She looked at Dr. Caroline, not at me. I need to know that my investment of time and emotional labor is valued. I need equity. Something about the way she said it made my stomach drop. This wasn't a spontaneous conversation. This was planned. What exactly are you asking for? I said. She finally looked at me. I want to be added to the deed. As a co-owner. That's the only way I'll feel secure enough to move forward. I sat back. Move forward with what? With us. With marriage. With anything. Dr. Caroline was watching us carefully. I could feel the room getting smaller. Let me get this straight, I said slowly. You want me to give you half my house, the house I bought with my inheritance, that I pay the mortgage on, as a condition of staying together? It's not giving me anything, Emma said, and now there was an edge in her voice. It's recognizing my contribution. My worth. Your contribution to what? The house I owned before you moved in. To the relationship. To the home we've built together. I looked at Dr. Caroline. Is this normal? Is this what therapy is supposed to be? She gave me a diplomatic smile. Therapy is a space for honest communication. Whatever needs to be said can be said here. And that's when I understood. This wasn't therapy. This was a setup. Emma had been building a case, probably from session 1, documenting her contributions and sacrifices to establish some kind of claim. And Dr. Caroline, whether she knew it or not, was facilitating it. I pulled out my phone. What are you doing? Emma asked. I'm checking something. I opened the voice recorder app I'd started using for work meetings. I'd actually recorded this session by accident. I'd left it running from a meeting earlier and forgotten to turn it off. Actually, you know what? I think we need to pause. Pause. Emma's eyes narrowed. Yeah, I need some air. I stood up. Dr. Caroline, I appreciate your time, but I don't think this is working out. We're in the middle of a breakthrough, Emma said sharply. I looked at her, really looked at her. The makeup, the outfit, the prepared speech. The way she'd been angling for this conversation, probably for weeks. A breakthrough, I repeated. Right. If you walk out now, that tells me everything I need to know, she said. Funny. I was about to say the same thing. I didn't wait for a response. I walked out, got in my car, and sat there for 10 minutes, my hands shaking. Then I listened to the recording. Every word was clear. Emma's demands, her ultimatum, her calculated tone. I forwarded it to my lawyer. Update 1. I didn't go home that night. I went to my best friend Marcus's place and told him everything. He'd never been Emma's biggest fan. He'd always said something felt off about her, but I dismissed it as him being overprotective. Dude, he said after I finished. She's been planning this. I know. No, I mean planning. This isn't spur of the moment. She researched this. He pulled out his laptop and showed me. Apparently, there's a thing called common law marriage in some states, and palimony claims, where partners can claim financial support or asset division even without being married. Emma had probably been Googling this stuff, figured out she didn't have a strong case, and decided to use therapy as leverage. She thought if she got you to agree in front of a therapist, it'd be like a verbal contract, Marcus said. Or she was building evidence of your agreement to shared ownership. I felt sick. My lawyer, David, called me the next morning. Got your recording. This is bold of her. Is it legal? The recording. You're in a one-party consent state, and you were part of the conversation, so yes. And honestly, this recording might have just saved you a massive headache. He paused. Have you gone home yet? No. Good. Don't. Not until we figure out next steps. Is she on any bank accounts? Joint checking for household expenses. That's it. Close it. Today. Pull your half. Open a new account. Change your passwords. All of them. And whatever you do, don't engage with her directly. Everything goes through me now. I did exactly what he said. By noon, I'd moved my money, changed my locks, technically legal since it was my house, and she wasn't a tenant with a lease, and had Marcus meet me at the house while Emma was at work to get my important documents and valuables. Emma called me 47 times that day. I didn't answer. She texted, "Where are you? We need to talk. You're being childish. This is exactly why we needed therapy. If you don't come home tonight, I'm calling the police." David told me to save everything but not respond. She did call the police. They showed up at Marcus's place around 9 p.m. I showed them the deed to my house, explained that Emma was not a legal tenant, and that I'd left her personal belongings untouched but needed space. They said it was a civil matter and left. Emma's text got nastier. "You can't just kick me out. I have rights. You're going to regret this. I'll take you for everything." The last one made me laugh. Take me for what? She had no claim to anything. Update 2. Emma hired a lawyer. I know because David got a letter 3 days later. She was claiming that we had an oral agreement about shared property, that she'd made substantial contributions to the home, and that my actions constituted financial abuse. David was almost amused. She's reaching. The recording kills any claim of an oral agreement, and she'd need to prove substantial financial contribution, which, based on what you've told me, she can't. So I'm fine. You're fine. But she's not going to go quietly. He was right. Emma started a social media campaign. She posted on Facebook about how her abusive ex had thrown her out with no warning and stolen her security. She didn't name me directly, but it was obvious. Friends started reaching out, asking what happened, if I was okay, if the posts were about me. I didn't respond publicly. David advised against it. Let her bury herself, he said. But then she went further. She showed up at my workplace. Security called me down, and there she was in the lobby, crying, begging to talk to me. "Emma, you need to leave. Please, just 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I messed up. I was scared and I said things I didn't mean. You hired a lawyer. You threatened to sue me. That's not saying things. I'll drop it. All of it. I just want to fix this." I looked at her, and for a second, I almost believed her. Almost. "If you want to drop it, have your lawyer contact mine. Don't show up at my job again." She tried to grab my arm. "I love you. Doesn't that matter?" Security stepped in. She left screaming about how I'd changed, how I wasn't the person she fell in love with, how I'd manipulated her. That night, David called. Her lawyer contacted me. She's willing to settle. Settle what? She has no case. I know. But she's offering to walk away clean if you pay her $30,000 for relocation expenses and emotional distress. I laughed. Actually laughed. Absolutely not. Good. That's what I told them. Update 3. The legal back and forth dragged on for 6 weeks. Emma kept trying new angles, claiming I'd promised her the house, that she'd paid for renovations she hadn't, that I owed her for unpaid domestic labor. Every claim fell apart under basic scrutiny. Meanwhile, I did some digging. I hired a private investigator, mostly to see if there was anything else I should know. Turns out, there was. Emma had been seeing someone else. A guy named Trevor she'd met at her gym. They'd been hooking up for at least 3 months, maybe longer. The investigator had photos of them together, texts, the whole thing. But here's the kicker. Trevor was married. And wealthy. Very wealthy. I showed David the report. So she was planning to leave you anyway, he said. She just wanted to take the house first. Or she wanted both. Me as a safety net, him as an upgrade. Either way, this changes things. If she pushes this to court, we can introduce evidence of infidelity and her ulterior motives. That'll kill any sympathy she might get from a judge. I sat with that for a day, thinking about what to do with the information. Then Emma made the decision for me. She filed a restraining order request, claiming I was harassing and stalking her. It was complete fiction, but it meant I had to go to court. At the hearing, her lawyer painted me as controlling and vindictive. Emma cried on the stand, talking about how afraid she was, how I'd destroyed her life. Then David played the therapy session recording. The judge listened to the whole thing. Emma's voice, clear as day. I'm not here for love. I'm here for something else. I want the house. Her lawyer objected, tried to claim it was out of context, but the damage was done. The judge denied the restraining order and warned Emma's lawyer about filing frivolous motions. Outside the courthouse, Emma tried to approach me. David stepped between us. Don't, he said simply. She looked at me, mascara running, face red. You destroyed us. You destroyed everything. No, I said. I just stopped letting you destroy me. Final update. That was 2 months ago. Emma dropped all legal claims a week after the hearing. Her relationship with Trevor imploded when his wife found out about the affair. Turns out the investigator I hired also tipped her off. Trevor's wife filed for divorce, and from what I heard through mutual friends, she took him for quite a bit in the settlement. Emma moved back in with her parents. She deleted all her social media posts about me after David threatened a defamation suit. Last I heard, she's working at a different company and telling people we broke up because I wasn't ready for commitment. Dr. Caroline, the therapist, lost Emma as a client, obviously. I left her a detailed review online explaining how therapy sessions should never be used as legal strategy meetings. I didn't name Emma, but I was clear about what happened. Several other people commented saying they'd had similar experiences with partners trying to weaponize therapy. As for me, I'm still in my house. I adopted a dog, a rescue named Cooper. I got a promotion at work. I've been on a few dates, nothing serious yet, but I'm not rushing. Marcus still brings up Emma sometimes, usually when we're drinking. Man, you dodged a tactical nuke, he says. He's not wrong. I learned a lot from this. I learned that love isn't enough if the other person sees you as a transaction. I learned that protecting yourself isn't the same as being cruel. And I learned that sometimes the trash takes itself out. You just have to be smart enough to lock the door behind it. The house is still mine. My dog loves the backyard. And I sleep a lot better knowing I'm not sharing my bed with someone who is just waiting for the right moment to cash out. Edit 1. A lot of people are asking if I ever found out how long Emma was planning this. Based on texts the PI found between her and a friend, she'd been thinking about securing the house since about month 2 of us living together. So yeah, almost from the start. Edit 2. No, I haven't heard from her since everything ended. Mutual friends say she's still bitter and tells a very different version of the story, but nobody who knows the truth believes her anymore. Edit 3. Cooper is a golden retriever mix, about 3 years old, and yes, he is the best decision I made all year.